Now, one that you probably haven't seen, I only saw this as we were recording. Tigers legend, Benny Elias, has come
Who
out.
gave Benny Elias a camera?
It came out and said that the Tigers need to apologise to Tim Sheens the way they sent him on his way, the way he exited the club. As unofficial Tigers fans, yourself and I think Tim Sheens owes the Tigers an apology because I think he snookered him for a year and a half of pay that probably he should never have taken.
I'm just reading this now. League legend Benny Elias has revealed he went out of his way to apologise to Tim Sheens after he was disgusted by the way the Tigers' treatment of the experienced coach. Blah, blah, blah. Sheens was sacked as head coach less than 12 months in a 5-year succession plan with assistant coach. Instead, power broke as part of ways with Sheens in August, citing concerns by key stakeholders over the club's direction. I walked straight up to him and said, I'm sorry on behalf of the club. It was embarrassing. No. Benny, the Tigers need to apologise to you as a Tigers fan, and they need to apologise to all Tigers fans for allowing Tim Sheens to sack Michael Maguire, for allowing Tim Sheens to conduct a global, we read it was a global search for the next coach. Tim Sheens conducted a global search for the next coach, and he decided that at 71 years old, he was the best candidate for this job. 10 years after he'd been sacked from the Tigers, when they said he was running out of ideas and he wasn't fresh anymore, they brought him back 10 years later after he did absolutely nothing in England, like not even a cup final or a grand final. Nothing. He hired himself for 2 years, and he said, you know what happens when I'm finished? We're going to give the reins to Benji Marshall, who everyone turns around and says has the passion for the Tigers. No, he doesn't. He played 1 season for South Sydney, was it? And when he had to go on TV show for a charity, it was the South Sydney charity, not the West Tigers charity. It was the South Sydney charity. So we're going to give it to him. We're going to give it to Robbie Farah. And Robbie Farah has already upset so many people in there since he's been back. Like, he had an argument with their new recruitment guru. So you don't need to apologise to Tim Sheens. The Tigers don't need to apologise to Tim Sheens. The Tigers need to apologise for their fans again for bollocking this situation up. Absolutely mental that they came up with Father Time is going to be the person for 2 years. If that's your answer and you didn't really care about the results for the next 2 years, just appoint Benji Marshall on a 5-year deal and say first 2 years are a free hit. And the lack of direction by the club, you allowed him as the chief of football to conduct a global search and hire himself. He took the club to a basket case because the club is a basket case. Period, point blank. There is no other explanation. There is nothing else you can say about it. He was allowed to run it as a circus because there are clowns in there at the moment just allowing people to do this. And Tim Sheens just did what he thought he could do. You don't need to apologise to Tim Sheens. You need to apologise to everyone else. Apologise to the fans, the sponsors, and apologise to me and you for having to watch this dross for 27 weeks of the year. That's who you got to say sorry to.
That is completely fair, and I was hoping for that exact reaction. I could not believe this when I saw it, and as soon as I said the name Benny Elias, your eyes rolled, as did 99.9% of the Tigers fan base. Legend of a player, but a bloke who should stop talking about the Tigers. And I love him. I remember him for New South Wales. I'm a huge fan. If he was to put his hand on the show, to come on the show, I would fanboy hard. But this is a bloke who shouldn't have a say on how this club is run. The Tigers don't need to apologise to Tim Sheens. He should pay back half the money that he took. This was a miserable failure from the second it was signed on. I think he overstayed his welcome by many weeks, and they should have moved him on and brought Benji Marshall in much earlier. I'm like you. I think this succession plan is an absolute disaster waiting to happen. And I don't think for the first time, I don't think many fans of the club are overly happy with the decisions made, and they're even less happy with another club legend coming out and saying something silly.
I mean, this is a podcast all on itself for the fundamental failures of the West Tigers over the last 12 years.
Long time.
Right? I have 2 children that have never seen the West Tigers play a finals football game. Oh my God. Anyway, moving on.